So we'll see how it goes. So my first question is, do you already use Screencastify?
I've started.
Yes. Yeah.
Mary, do you use Screencastify? You want to put in the chat? So it is my assumption that you are already have it installed. You've used Screencastify. And I've really just started making tutorials in Google Forms. I try to keep them short. You know, the person doing the talking is the person doing the learning. And why tell kids things that they already know? So I like to start with a quiz question and then see, like, do you even need it? The instruction, and if they don't, if they get it, then move on, and if not, then I can explain it. So it seems like it's easy. There is a couple of steps. The thing you have to know is that you have to have YouTube videos in Google Forms.
Okay.
Weird, cannot do it from Drive. So what's great about Screencastify is it automatically saves to Google Drive. But what you have to do is you have to set up your YouTube, which of course I can't show you the setup because I already did it. But I'll point out a couple of things. And so at first it's a little frustrating because you're like, why isn't this working? It didn't even save my video. So the first thing you want to do is make a stupid video that you have no intention of making, just so you can get it set up. I mean, of course it's saved to Google Drive and you can download it and put it into YouTube. But the description you typed is gone that you thought was going to be there. So I'm going to go ahead and just do full screen. My entire screen. And, all right, I am going to go to geogebra.org/notes. This is my new favorite thing. So geogebra.org/notes is a canvas, and it's super cool. You can do all kinds of things. Obviously, I can draw, and I can add shapes. But if I go here to the paperclip, I can add a text box, and I can even add math if you want. So square root of x. And I can add multiple pages. So my friend Tim, who works for GeoGebra, he likes to describe it as Google Slides like. Apparently I like to write the word hi, integrates graspable math. You can put in, now of course, if anyone knows me, they know that I'm a PDF hater. But you can, where do I have a PDF of? Here's my transcripts.
We used it today.
You did, yay.
It was really fun. We were converting fractions into decimals.
Excellent. And what I like about it is that, you know, I can put the PDF in there with the, you know, the instruction, and then we have room over here to visualize. You know, the problem with writing on a PDF is there's never enough room to actually do anything. And I'm horrified at the idea that you would grade this. So what I think is really cool is I can actually embed. I'm going to go to Google Forms. I just want straight up Google Forms. I want a form that I already have. And I believe that I need the embed code. So let me open this. I'm going to go to send. I'm going to get the embed code. I'm going to copy that. I think this is right. And I click on web. When I insert that, yes. Do you see how I can put a Google form in there?
Cool.
You put your PDF. Don't write on the PDF. I just stop grading that stuff. What's this? Here we go. Minecraft's much better.
So it's a bit like Jamboard, like a Jamboard. You can insert all different things, but it's got a bit of more maths that you can insert.
I think this is, well, the reason to use Jamboard is because it's collaborative. If you're not doing collaboration, use Notes, and I suspect but cannot prove that they're going to add collaboration into Notes. Jamboard's great because it's a Google Doc. It saves to your Google Drive, all of these cool things. But look, I can see some instruction and some different things, but then the kids can actually fill out this form. You see? It's not a picture of the form, it's the form. And I can put video in there, and I can put pictures in there, and I can embed web pages in there, and I can design a whole interactive lesson where the kids can visualize and they can type text. And if it's math, they can do math, and you can insert an interactive graphing calculator if you wanted to. And, you know, obviously you don't have to use a graphing calculator. You don't have to do any math at all. So many great things. So, you know, what I would do is I would take on Screencastify. I'm going to turn on Screencastify. I'm going to do my desktop, and I'm going to record. I'm going to record the application window of my GeoGebra notes. Let me add a new page. Can this guy go away? I'm going to add a new page. So, you know, I can demonstrate using GeoGebra. So I believe I insert this calculator. I go on to here. Sin X, you know, and I can show how I manipulate it. Come on. 2x. You know, how I change it. I know that I can make this into sliders. I don't know how. Okay, anyway. You know, I can do all those things. It's recording. I can demonstrate it. I know that I can insert in there. Tim would be horrified right now at my terrible use because I can draw lines. Dang it. I'm not going to do this well. I'm trying to demonstrate, and I'm just being this point and this point, right? So I'm recording all that. Then on the Screencastify, I want to stop sharing. So now this is recording. It's saved to my Google Drive. And like I said, I want you to first time just record something ridiculous. Like don't save it just to get it going. Because when you click publish to YouTube, do you see here it says my PD Alice Keeler? But actually it'll say pick a channel, and it's kind of confusing at first. So to figure out this publish screen, you actually need to authorize it in YouTube. So that's my recommendation, is to just record something, screen record it, use GeoGebra notes or whatever, or don't. And then you can see it says you can add a channel. It's gonna default to that. Add a channel, and you have to do the whole setup process. And then it says private. You don't want your videos private. Most likely you want them unlisted. Maybe you want them public. That's up to you. But unlisted means you have to have the link. So they would really only be able to see it if it is, I'll call this silly video. If it's in your form, right? If you give them access to it, they wouldn't be able to find it. So now it's uploading. It's now in. Going to YouTube, and I just copy the link right here, right? Easy peasy. And then I come back to my Google form, and then you'll see that there is add video, and I'm going to do it by URL. So I just copied the link, so I'm able to get that silly video and stick it right in there. So let's go ahead and just make a quick tutorial. Right? So what am I teaching is, what am I teaching? We're doing reflection and similar. So I'm going to do similarity. Of course, I'm going to collect email addresses. That's super important. You always have that turned on. You go to the settings cog. I don't like the response receipts. You can if you want to. I collect the email addresses, and if you want to make it a quiz. And I actually don't use them for assessment that I grade. I use them for self-assessment so they can check for themselves. And I am going to say first name. And my tip is I always do first and last name separate. And then down here on the bottom, it says add section. So I like to build and add sections. So we're going to ask a similarity question.
I have a quick Screencastify question.
Oh, yes, please.
So I have Screencastify, but I'm wondering what the record system audio, what is that recording? Is that recording what's on my computer, or is that recording what I'm saying? I can hear you.
Coming out of the speaker. It's what's coming out of your speakers. Like when you have a ding,
Okay.
your computer noise.
Okay.
You want that. Yeah.
Okay. That was all my question. Thank you.
No problem. So I'm going to put here, similarity question, and I'm going to add a question, something like, what makes two triangles similar? Now I'm going to add one more section that's going to be tutorial, and I'm going to add another section that is basically part 2. Right? It's important to build the sections, kind of think it out. So I'm going to say, what makes two triangles similar? So the right answer is the triangles have the same angle measurements and the sides are proportional. Okay? They look similar. They are the same size, right? Get my questions. I'm going to click on the 3 dots here in the bottom right, and I want to shuffle the option order. And I want to do it again where I go to section based on answer, and I'm of course going to make this required. So my answer key, if you want to make it a quiz, the triangles have the same measurement, done. And if they get it right, they're going to go to part 2. If they get it wrong, they're going to go to the tutorial. So I need to make sure for each of the multiple choice options that I say where it goes. Right, so then I'm going to go over to GeoGebra.org, or GeoGebra.org/notes gets you there faster. And I'm going to turn on Screencastify. Got my desktop, my microphone, my webcam. And I'm going to share. And so if I have a triangle, we can look at the angles of this triangle. Now, what happens when I resize it? If I make it bigger or smaller, notice that that angle stays the same. If I make the triangle bigger, if I make the triangle smaller, it is similar. So it is as I grab the corner, you'll notice it stays in proportion. So these are similar. Even if I rotate it and I resize it, it's going to be similar. Let's see how many Control Z's that I can do. Apparently none. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a triangle. And I'm going to mark the angle. So again, if it's similar, notice that the distance between the points here, that the measurement of this triangle is going to stay the same. Okay, so that would be similar. I'm going to click stop on the Screencastify. Am I still? Yeah. Okay, and then I just kind of wait a second. It's going to publish to YouTube. I make sure it has a channel. I switch it to unlisted, and I say silly similar video, upload, just wait for it. And I like this because I make it when I need it. As I'm creating this tutorial in my Google form, I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to come back to my Google form. Now you have to actually click on the section. Do you notice that it turns blue? If it's blue up here and I click the YouTube video one, it's going to add it up here. That's not where I wanted it. Yeah, I can drag it. But you want to click on the part, it's going to always go below. So I want to make sure it's selected. It's got blue on the very edge. Now I can insert that video and it goes in the tutorial section. So if they need the instruction, it goes there. So I find it really quick and easy. I can pull up the GeoGebra notes. I can embed a website. I can have things pre-prepared that I can go over with them. It does not have to be math. I am a math teacher. So I gave you a math example. I thought it was really cool that I could demonstrate how things resize. And then we go on to part 2, and we just add another question. You know, what happens if you use the stretch on the side and not the corner? Are they still similar? Again, I'm going to want to add a section for part 2 tutorial and add a section for part 3. So I'm just building on the lesson, and then I'm going to ask a question. If they know it, I don't need to do a tutorial. If I do, I just come over and I use Screencastify to record a quick video. I can make sure that it goes into YouTube, and you can see how I can build this pretty quickly. Okay, questions?
Would you sometimes use a YouTube clip that wasn't yours from Screencastify? So you could also just grab other?
Totally. Totally.
Mm.
I think the reason, I know the reason that I did this webinar is a lot of times I'm doing something that I'm like, this is really helpful to me. Maybe someone didn't think of that. So, you know, first, Leanne, did you think about building your lessons in Google Forms? So that was my first, like, did you realize you could actually, you know, where are you going to put these videos? You make these videos in YouTube, you make them with Screencastify. Where do you house them? And I like to use Google Slides. They're great, but I get this great self-checking and branching opportunity when I do it in a Google form. So, you know, I just wanted you to see how quickly and easily I can add these videos, because I think for me is, it gets frustrating is you don't really realize you have to have the videos in YouTube.
Yeah.
And so
I think the other thing, I think the other thing is that a lot of students like to hear their teacher's voice. So sometimes when you can make it, they're thinking, and especially when you're doing it remotely, they're going, oh, my teacher's there. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I agree with that, and I disagree with that only in the sense that I think you should keep your videos really, really short, like 30 seconds or less. And you can like use someone else's video and then just do a short, quick video. Now, remember, Leanne, they think you look weird anyway. You can do all your hair and makeup. You can put on nice clothes, and they still think you look weird. So I figured this out. I have worn makeup 0 times. We're on our 2nd week of school. I have worn makeup to school 0 times, and I'm pretty sure the kids learn just as much. The same. They do not care. It took me a lot of years to realize this. The only person who thinks about you is you. I washed my hair this morning, and I didn't use the straight iron, and I know both of you were judging me. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Did either of you like, wow, she's not wearing any makeup and her hair she just didn't do it today? I didn't. I just blow dried it and I left it. Tomorrow it'll look better. First of all, I'll sleep on it. I don't know about you. My hair looks better the 2nd day.
Yep.
And I'll use the straightening iron, but you know, I can only put in so much effort in the morning.
Right. Right.
I barely got my teeth brushed today.
One of my first Screencastifies, I kept that in my head. Nobody cares what you look like. Just do it. Just do it.
The only person that thinks about you is you. And I think to Leanne's point, it does really matter that they see you. And so if you're worried that you look weird, I think you should just make yourself look weird on purpose. Only put makeup on one eye.
See if they notice.
You know what? If they did, then I know they watched the video. Weird things just so they'll be like, I wonder what she did today.
Don't give
I'm going to do my
ideas.
entire lesson with my hand over my face. You know, like whatever it takes, right? But Leanne, I would encourage you to realize it's not a problem, and I highly encourage you to use other people's videos. No offense to you, but they a lot of times have video editing time that I don't have. Their videos are engaging. My videos are short. That's how I do it. Now, when I say their videos are engaging, no, they're not. They're all terrible. Go look at YouTube. They're all terrible. don't use those. You got to find one that's actually engaging. Otherwise, yeah, make it yourself and make it short. But I think it's a lot less intimidating that I can just fire up the Screencastify, upload it to YouTube real quick, and stick a short video into the Google form, and then have another section. So I bet you didn't think about that with the sections. You create this playlist of videos, and I can write text, you guys. Think about that. I'm going to do my window. So I'm in here with my tutorial. This text and this title and description, this is not a question. This is me telling you about similar triangles. They are similar, but not necessarily the same. Think about a little tiny Dasani water bottle and a full-size one. It's so cute. The label looks the same. Dang it, I can't type today, but it's smaller. Everything is proportional. Any angles are the same. Yeah, I can put little instructions in there. I can put a picture, and of course I can add video YouTube. And like I said, is nice is as soon as I record the Screencastify, I copy that link and I jump back to my form and I insert it right in. Okay. This is one that actually didn't take that long.
No,
I always
pretty quick.
Oh, this will be
That's great.
Is there anything you think I left out or should have mentioned?
Well, it's nothing you've missed or anything, but what if you draw on a image and record it and put it in the form? Would that be like if you were doing math, you were showing an example? I guess that goes back to doing
notes.
Yeah, that's
right.
back.
And so you're doing a demo on GeoGebra notes and then Screencastify, put it in your form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your new favorite thing, Elsa. GeoGebra notes.
That I never thought of using forms like that. I really like that. That's the only reason I'm here. Is like, what's that about? Just curiosity.
It doesn't seem that exciting, I think, obviously, since we only have a couple of people here. But I just thought, I don't think a lot of people think of doing this.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a great idea.
Well, it's great that you do when you record these webinars because they're not always in a good time for me. So it's great that I can go back and have a look at it. So it's great.
And then I decide, how much chaos I had or if I accidentally dropped a bad word as to whether or not I put it on public YouTube or not.
It's been relatively calm at your house today.
I know.